Thank you to the Advertising Association, the IPA and the ISBA for inviting me to speak at Reset 2021 today. It's a pleasure to be here. I know many of you from my 20 years working in the industry at Sky Media and Just Eat. And I have to say, it was a delight to work in a sector that's so creative, so diverse, and has such a strong sense of social responsibility. Advertising is the most powerful force for change. It builds new businesses, gets new technologies adopted, and makes better, smarter consumers of us all. So I hope that you feel in this government, you've always got a friend who understands the importance of the sector, and indeed ensuring that regulation, as we've just heard, is reconciled with supporting the billions of pounds of global exports and hundreds of thousands of jobs that depend upon it. That said, it was also one of the most sociable of sectors, and I know that somewhere there's a bar or restaurant or 10 across the United Kingdom that's aching for the return of each one of you. Soho House selling furniture was supposed to be an offshoot, not a permanent replacement. I was delighted to be appointed by the Prime Minister as the UK's net zero business champion. It gives me the opportunity to speak to so many British businesses, large and small, and to hear the already tremendous steps being taken towards a net zero world. Following the incredibly difficult challenges of the last 12 months, recognizing that we're out of the woods, we have a clear opportunity to drive green recovery. In the year that the UK is both the G7 president and hosts the COP26 Global Climate Summit in November, we have a historic opportunity to build a crescendo of momentum to make real and lasting change happen. New US leadership and the imperative upon China to now engage with the rest of the world presents us with a unique moment in time. My role is to work across government and with the COP President Alok Sharma to support all of the efforts on climate and to demonstrate that the UK business community are global leaders in taking action. The government's taken a huge position of global leadership. We've baked a 2050 target into law. That's the very highest form of commitment we can make. And we've also promised to reduce emissions by at least 68% by 2030. Just think about that scale of reduction for a second. It's genuinely amazing. For over 2,000 years, since crawling out of caves, man has used carbon as our primary energy source. Now, in a handful of decades, we plan to revolutionise that. The government's committed to end the sale of new petrol and diesel vehicles by 2030, support renewable energy projects across the UK, and transform the energy efficiency of our homes and buildings. The Prime Minister's 10-point plan will mobilise another 12 billion of government investment, level up regions across the UK, and support the creation of over 250,000 highly skilled new green jobs. I'd love to be able to show the same degree of ambition amongst our businesses and investors, and I think we can. And then the acid test is, can we generate jobs and future prosperity here in the UK on the back of this? British firms leading the world in some of the fastest growing and largest low carbon economy sectors. Sectors like generating hydrogen from wind power, zero emission mobility from cars to tractors, jet zero, carbon capture and storage, and green low carbon living. Now, I'm all about practical actions, and there's three things all of us can do. First, if you've not already done so, please sign up to the Race to Zero campaign. You can find all of the details online. In a space that can sometimes feel riven by complicated and competing environmental standards and initiatives, this is the kite mark that we'd like all businesses to adopt, and you can have the confidence it's supported by the United Nations, by the UK government, and it's underpinned by science-based targets. You yourselves know the power of a cut-through brand when it works, and Race to Zero is our cut-through brand. You'll be in great company as businesses such as Sky, ITV, Unilever, Virgin and WPP have already blazed that trail, as have another 1,400 businesses who've signed up already. Second, please work with your supply chain to show them what you and they can do. We're all each other's keepers on the climate agenda. Each of us are someone's customer or someone's supplier. And if we all move together at the same time, the costs of making the change are transformationally lower and we can all move much, much faster. At the larger end, suppliers can join the race to zero themselves, but there's also age-appropriate actions on things like the SME Climate Hub for much smaller businesses, and you'll have your own advertising industry initiatives which are doing great work. And then thirdly, please tell everyone, especially me, so that we can champion what you're doing. My experience talking to businesses every single day is that there is a huge appetite to make the change. Most of you here today are in the vanguard on climate action. But for those just starting out, the biggest barrier is knowing what to do. Hearing what others have done, having case studies, and therefore the confidence to do the same is priceless. If I was in advertising, I'd summarize this as do, show, and tell. Of course, the sector's already doing a huge amount. The Advertising Association's At Zero initiative is a fantastically comprehensive plan to make the advertising sector greener, and it has my full support. It aims to lower our environmental impact at every stage of the process, from the production of content and the way media is bought, right through to how we celebrate this achievement at awards and events like this today. The Ad Green initiative, launched in partnership with several of the organisations at this conference, is leading change in advertising production, with its carbon calculator to help production teams measure their carbon impact, as well as take active steps towards it. WPP and Publicis now get 30% of their energy from renewable sources, and I want to praise the innovation of the sector, typified by companies like Sunbeam Studios, who saved 15,000 kilograms of CO2 by using renewable energy, and who've partnered with Olico to convert 110 litres of used cooking oil into renewable energy. So to conclude, we have a huge task, but also a huge opportunity. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak today. Since taking on this role in November, I've been enormously encouraged by the positive feedback I've had from businesses. In fact, I've never had a role or experience in life where so many people, when they hear what I'm doing, grab my arm and tell me everything that they themselves are doing with such purpose and enthusiasm. As COP26 glows closer, about 40 weeks to go, I thank you for what you're already doing and look forward to collaborating with so many of you over the next and exciting year ahead.